Okay, here's instructions for the pump closet here on Peacock Road. So this is just the pumps closet, and this will explain where all the pipes are going to and what for. Okay, so the first one is there's a pipe right there, and that runs along this outer wall here and goes out that basement wall to the rainwater tank. Okay, so this pipe that comes down right here, and it has a clear one right here. This clear one is the water level. So right here is empty. It's about 11 inches above the ground. Halfway is 500 gallons. And then up this pipe, it's kind of got some gunk in there, but this is full here, about 5.5 feet tall. And there's actually pressure in this. This is this valve turns off. Now, if you turn the valve on, the water level will go down a little bit. I don't know if you saw that because we've been using it a little bit. But turn it back off, close this, because if you're using this and the pump comes on, then it's just like gonna suck air through here. There'll be air bubbles in your water, and it'll like kind of be doing that into your faucet and stuff if it's going in the house. So I just leave that off, and I turn that on if I want to see what water level is to the rainwater tank. So that's the rainwater tank, and then you can turn that off right here and just turn this perpendicular to the pipe to turn off rainwater. Now here's the one perpendicular to pipe to the spring water right there, and so you can turn that on or off, and however you want. Spring and rainwater, two different tanks. So the spring water tank is in the greenhouse, and that's the 1,500 gallon tank. All right, this is just a normal outlet here, but this one above this outlet is the pump, the spring water pump down the hill. So this is a exterior type wire. This goes out the greenhouse, and there's a little outlet so you can use electricity in the corner of that greenhouse and the exterior of it. And then the electricity continues on underground, and it goes to the pump house down there. So this, you can even write on here pump or not, so you have electricity on or off to the pump. Now the pump house, you can just leave it off if you want to just not use it. If you want to use it, we'll have a, I could show this later, but there's like a timer that you can put on the pump. This is the timer we use. We'll leave it for you guys. And you can have it come on like in intervals of like 10 minutes throughout the day, or however many. Now the pump out there pumps about 4.5 gallons per minute. So that you can calculate how many gallons you want to fill up in that tank every day. If you want to use the spring water, you don't have to. It's just there. It's pretty cool. So here are the two pumps. This is the AC pump. Now to use this, it actually is plugged in right now. We have the real water from the city coming into the house, and it pressurizes the lines. This pump won't come on unless it senses pressure going below 30 pounds per square inch or something like that. It'll automatically come on. If you don't want it to be sucking the rainwater from that tank or anything, just unplug it, and that'll make sure it doesn't come off. Or you can just turn off this nozzle right here. So down here is all the water that comes in, and this is like a sediment filter. You unscrew it from underneath, and it has a little unscrew thing there, and it has a little port there if it had air bubbles in there or something you want to release. So then the water comes in, and we got the two pumps. We got the AC pump, and we got the DC pump. DC pump is off, and it's hooked up to that little battery I showed you in the utility room. And that'll, since it's low pressure, that'll come on automatically as well. So it's already high pressure. That's why it doesn't come on now. But that's the pump. This is the DC pump. Right next to it is the switch. So that's how you would operate that one. So this one is, you can just unplug it. It has like a little pressure sensor on the side as well. So this one, the DC pump, or the AC pump here, the big one, can pressurize the home, but it also pressurizes this tank here, because you don't want it just turning on and turning off. You want it to fill up this tank with water, and you can control this tank for whatever reason. If you don't want to pressurize this tank, say if you want to use a DC pump, then just turn off the valve that pressurizes this big tank. Because the DC pump is meant to turn on and off at use, and it doesn't need to fill up a big tank like this. So if you want to use DC, turn off the pressure to, or the valve to the tank. This goes to the bottom of the tank down there. You'll see it like when you're here. It'll probably make more sense. All this stuff is extra, you know, and the price of the home and everything. I didn't calculate any of this stuff because I knew like appraiser wouldn't understand it, inspector might not understand how all this works. A rocket mass heater, like he would be confused about that. So I priced a home just as a conventional home, and that's, you know, what you guys are getting. This is just extra stuff because we were going to stay here and use this stuff, but anyway, it's more stuff for you guys. So that's how you use the pump closet and control the water. Now, if you see this little valve right here, it actually goes out that wall. That goes to one of the spigots in the greenhouse, and that's just to allow water to a hose there if you want to just use gravity draining water. So the water will drain out of this tank or the rainwater tank, whichever you have connected here. And then you could just turn on the water to these right here to have them drain out. And that'll go into a garden hose. So if you want to use the rainwater for your garden, you can do it manually with the garden hose right there at that faucet right there. For whatever reason, if you wanted to shut off water to this tank and clean it out, it can be cleaned out sometimes when it gets too much sediment. You just turn off that. That's another same type of valve. You turn it off right there. That comes out of the 1,500 gallon spring water tank. This, since I'm here, this is a one-way check valve. It makes sure water can come to us but not flow back down the hill, because then all the water would flow out. Now, just know that it's there. If you get hard freezes in here in wintertime, like, you should drain that. But if you don't, it could crack because water fills up in that little cavity and that little check valve. And to change it out, it's easy. It's like a $5 check valve at Menards. You can unscrew it by hand, actually, and make sure you're holding either end with a wrench with the valve, the black. There's a black nut on there you hold with a wrench, and then you just unscrew it and change it out pretty easily. So you can drain that if you don't want to use it all winter. If you use it all winter, have it come on regularly, then it shouldn't freeze, because it doesn't get that cold in this greenhouse, depending on, you know, if you don't have windows open or something. So that's the pump room and the spring water tank. So hopefully, yeah, let me know. We need to exchange phone numbers, so if you guys have any questions, I can answer those things. But hopefully these videos will help.